Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama's magnum opus, and a manga that changed the industry in big ways, influencing countless mangaka from its release to even now. It's a series that had countless adaptations, spin-offs, and movies, but does any of it really capture the series' essence, like 1991's Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins, directed by Chun Liang Chen? This is a Taiwanese adaptation that's loosely and not so loosely based on the manga we all know and love. It's also unlicensed and unofficial, but nonetheless it's a masterpiece in its own right. Now, when I say it's a loose adaptation of Dragon Ball, it's probably a bit more accurate to say it's a kind of faithful adaptation of Dragon Ball's first film, 1986's Dragon Ball Curse of the Blood Rubies. This covers the first part of the manga, the Pilaf saga, but changes some things. Notably, Pilaf is now King Gurumes, and his cool lackeys have turned into Bongo and Pasta. There are some other additional characters, and the plot is a lot tighter and a bit more serious, but Dragon Ball's early comedy and vibes remain intact, as well as its core cast and the main goal of collecting the 7 Dragon Balls. The first main difference of this adaptation is it being live action, but certain elements are completely different narratively, like Goku's grandpa featuring in the film and not being just dead at the beginning like in the series and the movie. Another huge change, since this is an unlicensed movie, is that Goku isn't actually Goku, he's Monkey Boy, and his grandpa is Grandpa Sparkle. The beginning sees them sparring, and it's the goofiest shit imaginable. I actually really love the practical effects and stunts used in this. They're surprisingly accurate to the manga in a tonal sense, but also with the editing. They make great efforts to make them fun and over the top with the use of things like zip wires so the characters can fly around a bit. It's genuinely impressive and something I didn't expect going in. And when things do look janky or flat out bad, it's funny and adds to the charm the movie has, so it gets to win every time. There's this part early on with the bad guys Zibrata and Malila, Bongo and Pasta's equivalents, attack Monkey Boy's home while he's away meeting Bulma. Her name is Sito, by the way. Zibrata straight up grenade launches their house, and once they find out Grandpa Sparkle is hiding in the well, this happens. And I kid you not, I almost pissed myself laughing when this happened. The slapstick visual comedy of this otherwise harrowing scene was so funny to me, and the movie is filled with stuff adjacent to this. It's not perfect all the time though. There's one major scene which does not fly today. Now, we all know Oolong, he's the shape-shifting pig character, and in his first appearance he shows up as this red demon. Dragon Ball: The Magic Begins didn't have red paint, I guess, but they had black, and I'm sure you can guess where this is going, and it's horrible.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Not only are you doing blackface, but you're doing it to illustrate that this character is a monster and a pig, which is just so unfortunate, even if it was unintentional. I think everyone around the world culturally has improved since then, but really why? Why not use red paint or any other paint? Black was the worst choice ever. Oolong can literally turn into anything as well, so it's easily the most yikes moment from this movie, but sometimes you have to expect janky stuff like this from older movies, so be warned if you're sensitive to stuff like this. I don't think any harm was meant by this though, it's just they didn't think about it. One character who is cool though is Yamcha, or Westwood. He's a lot more antagonistic while still keeping his quirks of being afraid of women and all that. Puar has also been replaced by this parrot, who I find really funny and endearing for some reason.
Be quiet! My brother will never lose to your master.
Don't be so sure! My master's very powerful! My master will win! My master will win! My master will win!
My brother will win! My brother will win! My brother will win! My brother.
The dubbing of this movie is really bad, by the way, but in the best kind of way. Everyone speaks with weird inflections, and it adds to its bizarre campy quality, so it wraps around to become genuinely amazing again.
Dragon Pearl! Hey, don't touch my pearl! Tell me, how many people in your family?
Only one, Granddad.
And they call me the pig-headed wizard.
A pig fairy?
my master, Mr. Westwood. And me, I'm Miss Snow White.
Monkey Boy? Who is he?
He's Westwood.
Westwood.
Bad guys. Who are these guys?
The fight between Monkey Boy and Westwood is super fun too. It gets the same praise I gave earlier about them bringing early Dragon Ball's combat to life in live action, but it takes it up a notch. There's also this wonky CG animated part in the middle of this to further throw you off your game and make you laugh. It reminds me of that one Baki the Grappler opening with the CG. They're so potato-y, it's great. Master Roshi appears about halfway through the movie too, and he steals the show, now under the name Turtle Man. His dubbed voice and mannerisms, like the way he walks and dances, are really funny to me. Almost everything in this film made me laugh. It's so absurd, poorly made, but at the same time really well made, and kind of accurate to Dragon Ball despite switching around names and plot points. The general pacing is fun too, with Monkey Boy gradually meeting new characters, collecting Dragon Balls, and having a big finale at the end. Without having to even watch it, I know this shit is a billion times more faithful and probably better than Dragon Ball Evolution. Maybe I'll get back to you on that after I watch Dragon Ball Evolution at some point. But what I can tell you for sure right now is Dragon Ball The Magic Begins is absolutely worth watching. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball, old martial arts movies or not, it's a wild, silly ride with the blackface aside, is so much fun, and there's multiple uploads of it on YouTube you can find easily. And those are some brief thoughts on Dragon Ball The Magic Begins. It seems to be a kind of well-known film on the internet, but I've never heard anyone talk about it, which is a shame because it's really funny, and all I've heard about Dragon Ball Evolution is that it sucks. And I think it's worth letting people know that Dragon Ball has a kind of good live action adaptation that captures the spirit of the early manga, something that is often never talked about because Dragon Ball Z, that portion of the manga, is a lot more popular. I'll leave a link to one of the YouTube uploads in the description, but definitely search this one out and maybe watch it with a big group of friends. It's absolutely one of those films you put on and have a blast making fun of together. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I usually talk about manga, and if you want to hear me talk about the Dragon Ball manga, I've been going through it arc by arc in my History of Shonen Jump series, where I look at the weekly Shonen Jump magazine year by year. The 1984 video features Dragon Ball's debut, where I talk about it a lot. And if you really like what I make, please consider supporting me on Patreon. It helps a ton and you can help influence the direction of my channel a bit. You'll also be thanked at the end of my videos, and at the $3 tier, you'll get your own little doodle like Kinucha, Cody, Kaizuku Garu, Soraquil Zero, Holly the Apothecary, Mayu, It's Fako, Elias Domansky, and Lay Sloggett. Thank you all for supporting me and what I make. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to be kind and take care.